From a single mistake to a lifelong mission. This is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala turns guilt into guidance. Have you ever been in a situation where you thought that you're not good enough to be a leader? You're not good enough to do da'wah. You're not good enough to do Islamic work. Maybe you think about your past. Maybe you think about some of the sins that you've made. Well, today's story from the life of Musa Alisam demonstrates why that's exactly the fuel you need to become a leader. That's exactly the beginning of your hero arc. It's exactly the motivation and the lessons that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has gifted you, not so that you would go dormant, not so that you would go hide away and live in shame for the rest of your life, but that you would take that and you would transform. You would go from caterpillar to butterfly. You would go to the best version of yourself. In Surah Al-Qasas, we have an amazing and essential paradigm for what leadership looks like. When Musa alayhi salam is drug into a fight. And this isn't any old fight. This fight has political implications because the two people that are involved in the fight, one of them is from Bani Israel and the other is from the tribe of Fir'aun. And Musa alayhi salam, he hears a call for help, a call to mobilize, a call for solidarity from his own tribesmen. And of course, the natural reaction, he thinks that this is the right way, this is the right cause. He gets involved, and with one blow, he strikes dead the man from Fir'aun's tribe. Now what's amazing is that immediately after doing this, he recognizes that he was in the wrong. And he asks Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for forgiveness on the spot. He says, قَالَ رَبِّي إِنِّي ظَلَمْتُ نَفْسِي فَاغْفِرْ لِي فَغَفَرَ لَهُ إِنَّهُ هُوَ الْغَفُورُ الرَّحِيمُ. And then, قَالَ رَبِّي بِمَا أَنْعَمْتَ عَلَيَّ فَلَنْ أَكُونَ ظَهِيرًا لِلْمُجْرِمِينَ. Two very, very important verses. Musa alayhi salam, he initially and immediately recognizes the wrong that he did, and he distances himself from it. But that's not all. He also resolves to never do it again. He says, I don't want to be ظَهِيرًا لِلْمُجْرِمِينَ. I don't want to be an ally or a supporter, someone who gives comfort or gives assistance to criminals and criminal activity. This is an amazing lesson because, as Malcolm X said, we're for the truth no matter who says it. Just because a person who shares your identity does something doesn't mean that it's right. This is one of the key lessons from Musa alayhi salam's story and also from the story of Bani Israel in general. That even if someone belongs to the wrong tribe or the wrong group or the oppressor group, they can be right, and they have the choice, the moral choice, whether to do the right thing or the wrong thing. So for leadership purposes, Musa alayhi salam, he owns it right away. He notices his mistake immediately. And then he also recognizes a pattern. And this is essential when it comes to accountability and holding ourselves accountable. He sees that this particular individual from his own tribe has a problem with getting involved in these types of situations. And he recognizes that this is the work of shaitan and that this is the thing that's in the wrong. We have this problem within our own communities where sometimes we give too much cover to people who are on our side. We say, oh, well, this is a good thing, and this is a good brother, or this is a good sister, and he means well, or she means well. Of course, we should not pry into other people's intentions, and we hope and believe that everybody is doing things for the right reasons. But at the same time, we have to have accountability. When things go wrong, and especially when we do something wrong, we don't hide behind false apologies. We don't try to equivocate. We don't try to get defensive. We don't try to say, well, what about this and what about that? And what are you doing? No, own it. Don't be afraid of being canceled. Don't be afraid of someone coming and ruining your career, or maybe you'll never be in a leadership position again. No, this is actually exactly what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving you so that you can purify yourself and redeem yourself. And certainly, Musa alayhi salam would not have been able to reach the heights that he had reached if he hadn't been given that moment of accountability and facing the wrongdoing that he had done. And later in the story, in Surah Al-Shu'ara, actually Fir'aun tries to hold this against Musa, and he says, وَفَعَلْتَ فَعْلَتَكَ الَّتِي فَعَلْتَ He tries to basically allude to, hey Musa, you did this thing in your past. And he doesn't really even reference it. He doesn't name it because he's just playing upon the fear of Musa alayhi salam to self-censor. Oh, I don't want anybody to know that I did this thing. But Musa alayhi salam at that point had been commissioned by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he allowed the transformation that took place, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allowed to take place within him, to not hold him back, to not make him timid, to not make him feel like he was doomed by his past. And so with every single one of us who is in a leadership position or who hopes to be in a leadership position, you are not doomed by your past, not at all. But you have to do what Musa alayhi salam did. You have to own up to your mistakes. You have to own up to them as soon as possible. You have to resolve. الَّذِينَ تَابُوا وَأَصْلَحُوا. It's not just enough to say you're sorry. You have to resolve to make things right. And you especially have to resolve to not repeat the same mistakes in the future. And if you're able to do this, then you will become a very effective leader, an effective leader just like Prophet Musa alayhi salam.